So, Butta, who books your tours? Because there seems to be a theme there between Hawaii and Bahamas, and I
Yeah,
mean, you're
like
certainly hitting some nice locations.
I want to get on your tours, is what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
Actually, what happened is my very first tour was in Ethiopia in Africa. And I had, once I put out my album.
No, hold it. Okay, let's stop right there. We got to backtrack. How do you end up going to Ethiopia? That's a major story right there.
Gotcha. So I did a show for CSAC. As a writer, you're either ASCAP, BMI, or CSAC. So I put my album out. Then I did my second show was with CSAC. CSAC put me in the CSAC magazine as the next big thing coming out. And there was a promoter there that booked for Centennial Park. And he saw me and he put me on at Centennial Park. Well, my date got rained out. And there was only one date left with this guy named Seven. And I had to open instead of close like I was going to do on my own show. So I asked him, could I take some of his time? So I took an hour of his time and he let me, and I opened up his show. It was the best thing ever because 10 minutes later, this guy walked over to me asking me to go to Africa with him. And it was real cool because I had been offered plenty of other gigs overseas, but they have to make sense. I'm not just going to just do something just because. It has to make sense for me. So this deal made sense, and I was able to go over there. I went over there for 3 months, and from a chauffeur to they gave us cell phones, had my own room, of course. They flew over family members for 2 weeks while you're there. I mean, it was so many perks. And I performed 4 nights for an hour and a half. And I was like, yeah, I could do this. and I went there for 3 months and then came back home for 6 months, then went back again for 3 months. And while I was there, someone approached me about doing cruises. And they was like, have you ever thought about cruises? And I'm like, I don't really want to do no cruise because, the cruise, I know people usually are the singers and performers usually, from what I'm told, they, stay at the bottom of the shift. They got to work all day, even after you performing, you got to still do other jobs. And I was like, that doesn't sound good, especially coming from Ethiopia, where I only worked for an hour. And then on the weekends, they fly me to other parts of Africa for free, so it got to make sense. And so it was like, no, as a guest entertainer. And I said, well, what is that? And they said a guest entertainer is just like a big celebrity coming in, doing a one night only in the main theater, with their orchestra and stuff like that.
Whole different matter. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, I can do that. So they would fly me over, put me in my suite. I got to bring 2 additional singers, my background singers, and they would come and perform with me. And we had their band read our sheet music and do our show. We would stay there for a week. So say like we got on like a Wednesday. So we get on Wednesday, we perform on Friday. On Saturday, those people get off. And then and new people come on. On Tuesday, we would perform again, but it's for a whole different crowd, And then on Thursday, we're off flying to another place. Or flying back home. So that worked for me.
Did you do more than one cruise in succession?
Yeah.
Did you do one cruise at a time, or were they in succession?
No, at a time. So after each cruise, we would come home. But I've done more than probably about 30 something cruises. I've been everywhere from Spain to, just everywhere. Jamaica, Aruba, Mexico.
I have to get back to Ethiopia because in my naivety, all I know about Ethiopia is this decimation and poverty and like a barren wasteland. So tell me what your story is on Ethiopia.
So Ethiopia definitely opened up my mind to a lot of things because I thought the exact same thing. Now, what was crazy is we performed at the Sheraton, which was this huge, it looked like a big castle. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful there. They got these big gates and, the guards at the gates, and then you open it up and it's just beautiful. But outside of that, you have people sleeping, using rocks as pillows. And, you know, in the street, you'll have dogs. We're used to seeing dogs. Well, over there, you see sheep, or you'll see cows just walking in, or donkeys just walking in the middle of the street. That's weird for me because I'm not used to that. So
Right.
it was definitely different. We went over to the Blue Nile River, and there were kids that was running up to us. All they wanted were pens and pencils and flip-flops. And so we brought them the second time I went, because I noticed they didn't have shoes, and they kept asking us, do you have a pen? Do you have a pen, or do you have a pencil? So when I went back for the second time, I brought over pens and pencils and school supplies and stuff like that. But to me, I had never seen tin huts, people live in tin huts or in mud homes. And what was crazy is, you would have a big, beautiful house. You would have like 5 big, beautiful houses, and then maybe 20 tin huts, or maybe 20, clay huts. And I'm like, that's different for me. And
So the ultra rich to the ultra poor.
yeah. I didn't see like a middle. I didn't see a middle, not where I was at. I didn't see a middle. And like you would see the women, the older women, like the grandmas having eucalyptus on their shoulders, walking up and down these hills. You would see the kids using what we have over here is coolant. And they would use like those plastic containers that look like coolant, and they would fill it with water at the lake. And then they would go home, and you would see these big tin tubs that they would fill the water, and they was using that to bathe. They was using it to cook. They was using it to drink. And I had just never seen that before. Even when I was in the Blue Nile, at the lake, I saw people drinking, using the bathroom, washing the animals. All of it was happening at the same time at the lake. I was like, this is different, but then on the flip side of that, there was so much riches and beautiful lands and beautiful, amazing people, amazing. But the land was, just so much greenery and just riches everywhere. So it was mixed feelings for me, but it was a wonderful experience.
So you've been there more than once, obviously.
Yes, I've been there twice.
So that first engagement where the gentleman offered you to go to Ethiopia led to another visit?
Yes.
And so you went there twice?
Yes, I went there twice. So I was there for 6 months total.
Wow, that's fascinating. What a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
Were you going to ask something, Scott? I'm sorry, I might have cut you off, Scott. Were you going to ask something?
No, I was curious, but you kind of already touched on that. Was there's such a difference in the population there economically. Did you get a chance to spend a fair bit of time with people that were less disadvantaged, or that were disadvantaged? And you sort of mentioned that by helping them with school supplies and stuff like that, because they probably didn't get a chance to see your show, did they?
No, they didn't get a chance to see my show. To go into the Sheraton, I don't know what the qualification. It's a regular hotel-ish, but I think you had to, look like you belonged, there or whatever. I was performing in front of ambassadors and prince and, all these, big people and stuff like that. And then I met people outside, because I didn't want to just stay in the castle. Stay at the hotel. Of course, you want to venture out. And in 3 months, you're definitely going to venture out. And I wanted to see the land and everything. So I made friends with a lot of the people that lived there, and they took me to other areas, and I really got to see. It was crazy. Like this one guy, he took me to this place, and we had like the moonshine, and we ate and everything. And then when we went, but the place he took me to eat, there was all of these different sheeps and goats. And the lady was like, well, which one do you like? And I was like, oh, look at that little baby right there. And I didn't think nothing else of it. So
that was the menu?
Right. I had no clue. It really was. It was.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was the menu, basically. I killed the dog and they presented it to me because they eat it raw. You can have it cooked or you eat it raw. And they eat it raw. And they brought it to me cut up and it was like, here you go. And I was like, oh, no. I'm Tanish. That means I'm full. But I hadn't even eaten, but no. Here you go. And I was like, oh, no. I'm Tanish. That means I'm full. But I hadn't even eaten, but no.
Hey, thanks for joining us. Check out our other vignettes and full episodes from a wide variety of guests for more great content. Please like, share, and subscribe, and become a member at SocialNRGPresents.com to access premium content and earn valuable energy points just for watching.